Okay, it's WWE Extreme Rules 2019, and we've got quite a few matches to go through, so let's kind of get right into it. First off, we have two kickoff show matches, the first of which was just announced today, and it's the Intercontinental Championship match between Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura. Not too much to say here. Nakamura tried to do some of his normal taunts, but Balor actually had none of it and mocked him for it. Nakamura countered a leapfrog and hit a knee in the corner. Nakamura fought out of a dragon sleeper and then tried to put on an armbar. Balor fought out of that and hit a Pele kick. And then they went into their little commercial break, and Balor started to rally back. He had a series of basement drop kicks. Nakamura hit kind of a snap German suplex using the second rope for a bit of leverage. And then Balor countered Kinshasa with a double stomp. He went for the coup de grace, but Nakamura rolled out of the way, hit the Kinshasa from behind for the 3 count and the victory. Shinsuke Nakamura is now Intercontinental Champion. Balor hadn't really been doing much with the championship since winning it at WrestleMania, so I guess you could say this is a good thing, but only if they use it to elevate the championship, because it really hasn't been done too well in the last few months. And we need good matches and we need good opponents, and if you just pogo it right back to Balor again, and we'll get to a problem I had with another championships later. After that, we had the Cruiserweight Championship match, Drew Gulak versus Tony Nese. This was actually a really, really good match. Gulak came out, he's the hometown boy from Philadelphia, so he had the kind of Rocky boxing robe thing going on. Gulak hit a big drop kick right off the bat, and both men were brawling with each other. Nese clotheslined Gulak over the ropes, and then Gulak hit a clothesline of his own off of the apron. Nese hit a pump handle into a power slam. Nese tried to hit a German suplex into the turnbuckle. He went for his running Nese, but Gulak managed to counter that. Nese came back, hit a step-up moonsault off of the second turnbuckle on the ring apron. Nese hits a 450, but Gulak countered a sunset dive powerbomb, and that allowed him to hit the cyclone twist for the 3 count of the victory. Really good match. They worked the high spots in well to tell the story. They were kind of running into a bit of a time crunch towards the end, though it did hurry up a little bit, but other than that, it was really good. Okay, moving on to the show proper. The match that kicked things off was the tag team match between Roman Reigns and The Undertaker against Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon. This was a no-holds-barred match. Reigns and McIntyre opened up. Reigns, he didn't technically work most of the match, but The Undertaker had a lot of points in here too. Early on, McIntyre hit a huge belly-to-belly suplex, tossed Reigns all across the ring. Shane had blocked it in an attempt for The Undertaker to do the old school. Taker slammed McIntyre off of the ring apron. Taker, what did I write there? Taker grabbed a chair and ran after. Oh, this was a confusing point in the match. Taker grabbed a chair, started going after Shane. Shane runs up the ramp. You think, okay, this is where Reigns and McIntyre are going to work most of the stuff, and then they pretty much just turned around and came right back about 20 seconds later. I said, okay, we did that. Now let's go back to the ring. That was weird. Reigns came back at a Samoa drop on McIntyre. Reigns dodged charging McIntyre, then hit the ring post. It's at this point Elias inserted himself in the match, and he decked Taker with a guitar to break up a last right attempt on Shane. Shane hit the big elbow drop onto the announce table from the ring post. After that, the villains all kind of teamed up on Undertaker, but then Reigns came back in. Taker rallied. He hits Shane with a choke slam. McIntyre tried to do a sneaky Claymore kick, but as he started to run in, Reigns speared him and then enabled Taker to hit the tombstone on Shane for the 3 count and the victory. Good guys win. Overall, a really decent match. Good opening starter. Again, it seems they're de-emphasizing Shane a little bit now. He's going to be moving on to Kevin Owens. Taker and McIntyre, I don't know how that's going to turn out now, because that was the rumor going into SummerSlam, but they didn't really plant any seeds. You would think McIntyre would have jumped Taker at some point, but no, Taker just kind of stood in the ring and took everything in. After that, we have the Raw Tag Team Championship match, the Revival versus the Usos. Early on, Jimmy and Jay hit a kind of double team corner splash on, I think it was Dawson. Dawson broke up a super kick, stereo super kick attempt on Wilder. The Revival used a lot of trickery in this match. They distracted the ref. They goaded Jay into charging after them, and he got tossed into the ring barricade. The ref missed an Uso tag, which allowed the Revival to double team Jay again. The Revival hit the Demolition Decapitation finisher. Jay broke up a suplex and tagged in Jimmy. Superplex attempt and it tied in Jimmy. Jimmy hit a corkscrew moonsault up onto the Revival. The Usos hit a pop-up Samoan drop on Dawson after that. The Usos went for a finisher attempt, but it got broken up. And Wilder blind tagged in. Dawson blind tagged into the match. And that enabled the Revival to hit the Shatter Machine on Jimmy for the 3 count and the victory. Another pretty decent match. Great heel work from the Revival, using the various chicanery and tricks and to get things to go their way. So they did a good job with that. Don't know exactly where they're going with this again. Storyline, obviously it's the Revival have been fed up for a while. Yeah. Cat's being noisy, sorry. The Revival have been fed up for a while. They're still wearing their hashtag Free the Revival trunks, and I know that because they use some injury clause to extend their contracts out. Hopefully this is placating them. They are getting kind of the main event push, being there's a little faction that Shane's formed, but it didn't seem to help them too much here. Alright, our next match is Alistair Black versus Cesaro, and it's Alistair Black's first match in a month and a half, and he's been sitting in a room wanting people to challenge him for a fight, and Cesaro finally did. And yeah, Alistair Black still has this stupid door creak in his theme music that just ruins everything now. Black, early on, Cesaro went for a neutralizer. Black fought out of it. He kind of did a back body drop as he fought out of it, but Cesaro landed on his feet and then dropped down into Black's meditation pose. Black hit a moonsault off the second rope to the outside of the ring. Cesaro hit a springboard uppercut. Cesaro hit a gut wrench suplex. Early on, Black hit a Shiranui. He went for a second one. Cesaro countered that, had Black up like he was going to hit the powerbomb. He pushed out of that and he hit the very European uppercut. Cesaro locked on the sharpshooter, but Black came back, countered another springboard uppercut with a jumping knee. Black fought out of another neutralizer and hit the Black Mass for the 3 count of the victory. Really amazing match what's basically basically being used to push Alistair Black right now. Cesaro's the type of guy who can just eat the loss at this point, but he's still proved that he could be a quality for that type of match and still be considered look like. Sorry, what? Yeah, you're noisy. Like I said, Cesaro can eat the loss and still look exceptionally well in that loss. So that's definitely on the plus side there. After that, we had the 2-on-1 handicap match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley versus the team of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Basically, Alexa and Nikki were tagging into the match in this. It was like the match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and AJ Styles from the Royal Rumble in, was it 2018? Yeah, that sounds right. No Sasha Banks. I'll tell you this right now, Sasha Banks was not here, even though it was teased that she was probably going to show up. So make of that what you will. Excuse me. Right off the bat, Bliss and Nikki Cross are tagging in frequently. They use their advantage pretty well. Bliss, at one point, Alexa Bliss blind tagged in, and Nikki, she used that to shove Bayley off of the ring apron and into the face first into the ring steps. Bayley got tangled up in the apron, and Alexa Bliss used that to hit a sliding baseball slide drop kick into the back of Bayley's head. Bayley hit a suicide dive on the Nikki Cross. This is where Bayley fought back. Bayley did one of my favorite submission holds that hardly anyone does anymore. It was Jamie Noble's finishing hold when he was doing the King of the Trailer Park shtick, and it was called the Trailer Hitch. And it's basically this kind of Indian Deathlock-like hold, except instead of doing it in a standing, you do it in a sitting position. So, and that helped because when Alexa Bliss came in, Bayley managed to catch her and put her into a crossface out of that. But again, technically heels, even though they're not really acting like heels strictly in that sense, but the heels came back. They seemed to gain another advantage. Alexa went for Twisted Bliss, but Bayley got her knees up and countered that. And then Nikki managed to get into the break-in, tagged into the match in the process, though. So Bayley came back and she hit basically she hit the elbow drop onto Nikki Cross for the 3 count of the victory. The ending of the match got a little confusing, obviously. I think that's the problem, is if you're going to do the 2-on-1 handicap match, put the 2 against the 1 and don't do the tags, because that just kind of leads to this confusion. And again, you have people blind tagging, but it's like you're blind tagging the person you want to win, so it doesn't really work, if that makes any sense. But because I think overall it was a really good match. They did a good job building that up. I still think they're probably building towards a Bayley heel turn, because they keep talking about Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, Alexa in particular, like they're heels, but they're not really acting like heels. So, like I said, I'm just a little confused as to where they're going with this. Okay, our next match is the last man standing match between Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. Right off the bat, Lashley tried to jump Strowman as he was entering the ring, but Strowman got him and tossed him over the top rope and outside. The match had not started yet. Eventually they got in the ring and it started. Strowman hit 2 corner splashes on Lashley. They started to fight to the outside of the ring. Braun tried to do the big charging spear from one end of the ring. He tried to go all the way around and then hit Lashley from the other side. But Lashley caught onto it and speared Strowman instead. Strowman still selling his injuries from being driven through the LED board earlier a few weeks ago. They fought to the outside of the ring. They fought into the stands. They fought up into the mezzanine near the souvenir stuff. Lashley tried to suplex Strowman, and the ceiling in that area is so low, I don't think it would have worked. So instead, Strowman just tossed Lashley into the souvenir stand. They fought back down to the ring. Strowman tossed Lashley down the stairs, but basically down to the stands. You know, like there's the stairway in between where you go into your seats. That's where he pushed him down, and then they got in the fight, and Lashley drove Strowman through the barricade. Lashley speared Strowman over the German announce table and then buried him under it, but Strowman still beat the 10 count. They fought into the stands once again. They fought over to, basically I think was where the visitors' locker room is, or the entranceway would be for either the basketball or the hockey. And so it was kind of blocked off because it's just a seating area. It was all seating all around there, and there was nothing, so there's no point in having a big open doorway there. And that's where Strowman cleared his spot out, and he power slammed Lashley off of that spot, and basically fought through the barricade part there to beat the 10 count and win the match. Overall, really great high spots in this match. Unfortunately, there was a few points where they were just plodding along. Like, I get the idea that Strowman's supposed to be selling this spleen injury, and yes, that's what they said, spleen injury. But it just, I get that that's supposed to be happening, but there's a little too much of them kind of wandering around. Lashley was playing to some of the fans that were in the concession area. Like, that was fine, but like I said, they were trying to do this part where Lashley picks up Strowman to do that big vertical suplex. But you realize if they had done that, like, Strowman would have been kicking the ceiling of that mezzanine, so I don't know how well it would have worked. Anyway, after the match, they interviewed AJ Styles at the club back there, and he said, "Oh, it was not my idea to reform the club. It was, because Ricochet beat me, I was already kind of doing that anyway. It just happened to coincide everything, and and then he's going to beat Ricochet." Anyway, our next match after that is the SmackDown Tag Team Triple Threat Championship match. Daniel Bryan and Rowan against the New Day against Heavy Machinery. They did something I don't like with the Tag Team Triple Threats, which is it's only 2 teams being represented at a time. So in this case, Daniel Bryan and Xavier Woods start things off, while Heavy Machinery is waiting on the outside. Like, just put all 3 of them in. Like, instead we get the stupid, but you could tag in any partner you want. Well, what's going to prevent them from taking that 3rd team in? The only thing the only reason that Heavy Machinery eventually did get tagged in was because Rowan jumped, Daniel Bryan jumped Big E and sent him into the ring steps, so he was hurt, and Xavier didn't have anyone else to tag. Yeah, that's why. Tucker did get into the match at one point. Rowan blind tagged Tucker and hit a big splash on Xavier. Bryan threw Big E into the ring steps. That's what happened. Heavy Machinery hit Bryan with slingshot power slam combination, but Big E had blind tagged Bryan, so it wasn't legal at the time. Heavy Machinery hit Big E with a suplex crossbody combination. Rowan and Bryan hit Xavier with a flying knee from the apron. Excuse me. Heavy Machinery hit Big E with the compactor, but Woods broke up the pin. Bryan blind tagged. They were doing the Tree of Doom or the Pyramid of Doom in the corner, and Bryan tagged someone. I think he tagged Otis. I may be wrong on that. And so he used that to try to hit the flying headbutt on Big E after that move had been done. But Big E kicked out. Bryan locked on the lapel lock and then modified it to a bow and arrow. But Big E fought out of that, and the New Day hit the midnight hour on Daniel Bryan for 3 count in the victory. Immediately, Xavier comes out and starts saying, "We've got all the championships." Like, no, you don't. Kofi hasn't defended his yet. How do you know he's not going to lose his? So, were they in with all the championships? Like, no, you have the WWE Championship and the SmackDown Tag Championships, but you don't have the other ones. And you're not going to get the women's belts anytime soon, so I don't know what's happening there. And then, as that is happening, they go for a backstage interview with, not Caleb Braxton, the other one, not Charlie Caruso, the other one, the blonde, but Paul Heyman immediately comes and takes the microphone away, goes on the outside, says, "I know this, I'm Philadelphia, I'm the reason they call this Extreme." And then he says, "Brock Lesnar's going to cash in Money in the Bank, so Kofi or Seth, you better pay attention." Okay, as my thoughts from that tag team match itself, it was really good, really well done. Not overly cluttered like how a lot of triple threat matches tend to be sometimes, so I think it did a really good job of doing everything right. My only qualm is, do the New Day really need to be tag team champions again? Like, couldn't either Rowan and Bryan retain or put the belts on Heavy Machinery? Like, just, again, let's try to get something new, because that's going to be my major problem with this show. Anyway, our next match is the United States Championship match. Ricochet with AJ Styles with the rest of the club. Gallows and Anderson jumped Ricochet during his intro bit. The bell had not rung, so it's not no disqualification. And this was just a regular match, so this was not an Extreme Rules situation. So why was it on the Extreme Rules show? So DQs and countouts were actually part of that. Ricochet hit 2 rolling drop kicks and followed it up with a shooting star press off the ring apron. Gallows and Anderson managed to distract Ricochet. They didn't make contact with him to get the disqualification. Ricochet hit a step up enziguri, hit a flying crossbody on Gallows and Anderson. Ricochet fought out of a death drop and hit a twisting suplex. Styles suplexed Ricochet into the turnbuckle. Styles hit a scoop slam into the death drop DDT. Ricochet hit kind of a swinging neck breaker, but Styles actually kept the hold on long enough to hit a brain buster. Ricochet hit a springboard shooting star press and got the pin on Styles, but Styles' foot was under the ropes, and Anderson leapt up onto the ring apron to point it out to the ref. He didn't interfere. He did not make contact with anyone. And that got Ricochet kind of hot because then Anderson didn't get down off the apron, and Ricochet basically kicked him. And kicked him in such a manner that Anderson hit the ref. And so the ref's distracted with Anderson a little bit, and as Ricochet was going up for a top rope maneuver, Gallows tripped him up and hung him up in such a manner so that Styles could hit the Styles Clash off the second rope for the 3 count and the victory. AJ Styles is now United States Champion. And yeah, again, this is where I'm going to say this. The lack of new. Like, we had a new United States Champion in Ricochet. I thought we were going to help elevate that belt a little bit. And now he's lost it in, in less than a month, which it just makes that reign feel completely pointless. So yeah, again, it's just hollow. It doesn't make it feel good. It doesn't make you feel like you're pushing him. It just makes it look stupid, and that championship now looks worthless. Keep it on him. Have a good, long, healthy reign. And it sounds weird with. When you talk about, say, Finn Balor, he's had a pretty decent reign with the Intercontinental Championship, but he hasn't been defending it that much. So you're not getting the same thing here. So, yeah. It was a decent enough match. Again, the ending kind of just put a sour taste in my mouth. After that, we had Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler, and not much happened. Ziggler shoved Owens. Owens hit the stunner for the 3 count of the victory. After that, Owens grabbed the mic and said, since Owens going to cut off this time, Shane McMahon can kiss my ass. And yeah, obviously we're setting up to Shane Owens Part 2, except now Owens is the good guy. I don't know if Sami Zayn's going to get back involved in this or not. It would actually be kind of nice. Exactly, where, again, Zayn could still be heelish. Owens, is still technically heelish. He's just being heelish towards the right people now. But again, if this helps get Shane off of TV and off of wrestling for a while, I'm all for that. Okay, our next match is the WWE Championship match, Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe. Right off the bat, Kofi tried to hit a drop kick. Joe hit a big lariat right after that. Joe basically went after Kofi's leg. It looked like Kofi hurt his knee a little bit during a leg sweep. And then a cat sat on my notebook, so I didn't take many notes after that. There were a couple of Kofi tried to rally back a little bit, but Joe grabbed Kofi's finger that he had flipped him off with earlier this week, and he snapped it. He put it in between the ring steps and stomped on it. Kofi still managed to flip him off, though, except this time it was actually blocked by the ropes. So he sticks it up like the rope is kind of like, it's not the best angle to do this, but kind of like this. So it was blocking, you could see it was blocking the finger. Kofi did manage to come back, hit a crossbody. Joe had a powerbomb into an STF. Kofi fought out of that and hit the SOS. Joe countered Trouble in Paradise into a rear naked choke. Kofi tried to do the leverage off the corner turnbuckle into a pin, but Joe caught that and changed it into an Uranagi. But then Joe picked Kofi up, tried to whip him off the ropes. Kofi ducked and hit the Trouble in Paradise for the 3 count of the victory. I thought because this match was so short that we were going to get the cash in. We didn't. We just got a Rocket League promo. The match itself, I think, was just too short. It was hampered a little bit. I'm hoping we can get a good long Kofi Joe match soon, because this was kind of disappointing. It makes Kofi look lucky that he won, and Joe didn't look as strong because he was dominating most of the match, and then suddenly out of nowhere one thing catches him off guard. It would have been nice to see Kofi get a bit more offense in. So again, maybe they could have hampered this down, because I'll tell you this right now, the next match was a little too long. And the next match is Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. The winning team becomes Universal Champion and Raw Women's Champion. They said winners take all, I guess. Lacey had Seth written on her tights, trying to further antagonize everything. She tried to show it off. Unfortunately, the camera guy was not in the best angle to see it. Um, like the whole thing was she was bending over to show, the Seth was written on her butt. But the camera guy was at like this weird angle, so you didn't see the Seth. All you saw was the part of Lacey Evans I don't think we needed to be familiar with. Instead, Becky and Lacey opened things up. Lynch sent Lacey out of the ring. Corbin tagged in. Rollins was legal, so Rollins hit a blockbuster. Corbin grabbed a kendo stick. It proved not to be very effective. Rollins and Lynch got kendo sticks of their own and attacked Lacey, Evans and Corbin. Corbin blocked a suicide dive with a chair. Corbin set up 2 chairs in the ring, but Corbin attacked Rollins in the back with it. Went after Rollins' back. Lacey and Lynch, Becky attacked each other with chairs. Becky tried to hit with Lacey with the top part of the chair in the stomach. Lacey had the chair up here, and Lacey dropped the chair and it came right down and clopped Becky right on the edge of her face. Oh, shit. Yeah, she had a big knot, like right, bad hematoma there. And Lacey cut her lip too. Evans hit a moonsault. Lynch dodged a women's right and hit a reverse DDT. Becky and Rollins set up tables on the outside of the ring. It looked like though they were going to get sent through it, but instead they suplexed Corbin and Lacey on the ramp. And Corbin and Evans attacked Rollins with a kendo stick. Eventually Rollins and Lynch fought back again. Lynch hit a guillotine leg drop onto one table. Rollins hit a frog splash onto another table. They got back into the match, and Corbin, not realizing what he was doing, hit the end of days on Becky Lynch. And Lacey Evans kind of just put her hands up and ran off, said, nope, I'm not dealing with this now, because she could see how angry Seth was. And Rollins just snapped. He attacked Corbin. He bashed him with a chair. He bashed him with a kendo stick. He just bashed him and bashed him. He then hit 3 curb stomps. Got the 3 count in the victory. And then Brock Lesnar's music hits. Lesnar comes down to the ring. Heyman's carrying the Money in the Bank briefcase. Ref says he's cashing it in. As this is happening, Lesnar suplexes Rollins 3 times. Hits the F5 shortly after the bell rings to win the Universal Championship. And yeah, I'm sick of Brock Lesnar. I've said this repeatedly. I'm tired of it. I don't want Brock Lesnar as champion. This was stupid. He was supposed to go off to get his butt kicked by Daniel Cormier, and that was supposed to be the end of it. Instead, we're now dealing with this crap again. Yeah, and it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I don't care. It's not going to drive the ratings up. The ratings were going down because people were sick of Lesnar. Ugh. And I don't care what Fox says. He won the Raw Championship, so he's not going to be on Fox. Yeah, this sticks in my craw. This leaves a sour note in my mouth. This is not good. And it killed this show for me. Overall, this show was solid. Great matches, good storytelling. I mean, granted, I had a problem with some of it, but again, that's because I thought they were going in a new direction, and now they're not going in a new direction. They're just going with the same old crap. I'm tired of this garbage. I really am. This show gets a D. I know, I'm like I said, I'm kind of reaching my wit's end with WWE right now. You know, I plan on doing the NXT UK takeover. That's on the 31st, which is, I know, the same day as AEW All Out, I think it is. Yeah, AEW's put all their shows in July for some reason. I don't know why they did that. But it's like, that's going to cost $50, and I don't have $50 right now. So yeah, I'll probably do the NXT UK takeover. Also, I'll do the NXT takeover Toronto before SummerSlam, and then I'll be doing SummerSlam. I'm hoping this is short, guys. I really am. I'm sorry for being negative. I don't like being the big, angry, yelly YouTuber. I just don't. I'm hoping this all works out soon. Next video is obviously going to be the Lion King review. See you all then.
you tired of me constantly talking only about WWE and NXT? Want to see me expand my wrestling coverage? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time for Cat Productions. Also, remember, if you like the video, give it a like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.